we are correcting votes and proceedings. What is recorded here is not correct. Whether the minority leader thinks that I was not entitled to rule is another matter. But what I'm saying here is that I ruled. What is recorded here is that I was ruling and it was interrupted. So it appears that the ruling did not conclude, but it did conclude. That's all I want the vote to reflect. That is not about yes or no. That is what happened. And the record is available. The table office heard the video. I played it out to them when I saw this, that this is the video of what I did, and that is how it concluded. So let the votes and proceedings reflect what happened. After raising issues with them, is entitled. You are always entitled to raise issues with what you think I ought to have done or ought not to have done. That is a different matter altogether. So let the vote and proceedings reflect that.
You are on page 9, and you are, as far as we are concerned, what reflects in page 5 is a true reflection of what transpired in this house. Page 9, that I moved a motion relying on Standing Order 51 and 2, as was done by my colleague, the majority leader, a day before. And Mr. Speaker, you are seeking to correct this. Yes, there was an uproar because you had to put the question on the motion that was so ably moved by me and seconded by the Honorable Mahama Ayarga. Under the circumstance, there was some disorderliness in the House. And as far as we are concerned, you suspended the House. And second deputy came to adjourn the House. Now, when I hear you now saying that you are giving directives to table, directives to do what? Mr. Speaker, directives to do what? Because you told this House that you are not the Speaker, you are a member of Parliament for Bekwai, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, if you are a member of Parliament for Bekwai, my application was to the Speaker. You say you are not the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so if you say that you want to correct it, Mr. Speaker, the only correction I should think, which must reflect, and I hope that you direct able to do so, is that in moving my motion, I copiously and judiciously made references to Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution and Standing Order 109 of the Parliament of Ghana, which must also reflect, because in the previous day, as the Honorable Osei Owusu made reference to the Constitution and Standing Orders, his have been recognized in the votes and proceedings. What is good for the goose must be good for the gander. I want this because, Mr. Speaker, you are yourself a lawyer. Authoritatively, parliamentary debates have become a guide to interpretation beyond the British ruling in paper and hand. And therefore, we know that reference to the Constitution and reference to our standing order must at all times be respected. So I have a difficulty with the directive that you are giving the table, because as far as we are concerned, I moved the motion. The motion was seconded by the Honorable Mahama Ayarga. When the debate, as recorded, the debate concluded. After conclusion of debate, Mr. Speaker, yours is simply to put the question. Nothing more. Nothing more. And Mr. Speaker, more importantly, decisions in Parliament is not about somebody's imagined majority outside this chamber and outside the presence of Parliament. It is about members present, meaning members available, and members voting. Therefore, I have a difficulty with the directive you are giving the table. And Mr. Speaker, be reminded that I did not invoke any different rule other than what was invoked by my colleague the day before. So, Mr. Speaker, your ruling, let me hear it well, and I'll do what is appropriate within our standing orders and within the 1992 Constitution. But I think that it would be wrong for you to direct table to attempt to tamper or alter what is reported in page 9. Suffice it to add the table addend that I made reference to Article 102, that the person presiding shall not be part of what constitutes quorum, and the person presiding shall not be part of a decision that should be taken. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Which you could not rule, or you are ruling that there is a new position. Let me serve you notice, Mr. Speaker, that under Order 93.5, I will file a motion to question your conduct as Speaker or as member for Bekwai, wherever is appropriate, because this directive you are given does not, and we ourselves will call the recording for scrutiny, and we will look at it closely, because as far as we know, Mr. Speaker, you attempted to rule, and there was an uproar, and there was a suspension, and subsequently an adjournment. That is all we know. So, Mr. Speaker, I intend to invoke Order 93.5, that I'll serve you, I'll submit your conduct, because you cannot operate with these standing orders at your whims and caprices. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Let the correction be effected whilst we await a motion to challenge the ruling. Page 10.